to In Pursuit of Magic, where we explore the things that inspire us, drive us, and cause us to want to create some of the magic we find in the world. Today's guest is Jaime Lozano, who is a director, composer, orchestrator, arranger, vocal coach, husband and father, and I would even say storyteller as part of all the things in his repertoire. He has a big concert coming up August 25th in Sony Music Hall at 8 p.m. And I'm really honored to have you here today, Jaime. I mean, you are an incredible talent. I've had the honor of getting to see a lot of your concerts and see you perform with La Familia and experience the community and warmth that you seem to really create and stand behind. And it's a very special experience. So thank you for being here today.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here talking with you. I'm so happy and excited to have this conversation.
Too, me too. So tell me a little bit about how you got started in music. What inspired you to pursue music and musical theater?
Oh, okay. Long story short, I was supposed to study criminology. Back in Mexico, I actually did. I was about to enroll in criminology school, and for some reason, like a few days before doing that, something told me that I should wait. That wasn't my path. I wait for a year, and I was working at in a business of my family, a family business. And around that time, I was learning to play guitar in a church choir, and that was my only like music experience so far. I was learning guitar, I was singing in this choir, and 1 year later, after I decided not to enroll in criminology school, I just went directly to music school, just having that choir experience, and I realized that I was like way behind because all my classmates at music school, they have been playing piano since they were like 3 4 years old. They were like they already knew how to read music, and I didn't know any of that. So I decided to really put all my efforts to make how do you say it in English, to recuperar el tiempo, to recover all that time that I didn't have, that because I was like late. I could say at that time I was, yeah, I was like 18 years old when I started studying music.
Wow. I mean, that's incredible though that you felt this calling and then that feeling of feeling like, oh, is it too late though? Like all these people have an edge or have been doing this for years since they were younger. Um, I had gone to school for animation, but that was my second degree. And I've loved it my whole life, but I didn't have the same experience as a lot of my classmates who have been doing certain things. So I understand that feeling of feeling like, how do I catch up to be able to make
Yes,
it and do what I want to do? So how did
yes,
you
yes.
overcome that feeling? Because it could be disheartening.
Uh, I mean, I believe that everything in life is as easy or as hard as just making a choice. That is one of my philosophy, that I believe that everything is just like a yes or a no in front of you. So I decided just to make the choice to make up for all the time. I was like, because I knew all my classmates, they were already ahead of me. I knew that I needed to study more than them. When we have all these like a side reading lessons to read music and all that, I mean they already knew that, and I was just learning. So I had to spend full days just focusing on that and trying to be at the same level as them.
I mean, that's incredible because it takes a lot of willpower to to make that choice to say I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm going to catch up. I'm going to get to where they are. And eventually that led to you moving to New York. So how did that come about?
Okay, so I started studying music. Originally, I was studying singing. I was studying opera singing originally. And when I was just enrolled in school, I saw a piece of paper on the wall, a flyer for auditions for a show, for a musical. The funny thing is, when I was a teenager, I used to watch when I was watching TV every Easter in Mexico. They used to broadcast the Jesus Christ Superstar movie, that movie from the 70s. And I remember that I used to hate that movie because I couldn't understand why they were singing and what the hell was going on. Like I was watching on TV these people like dancing and singing and with a big cross and all that. So I couldn't understand what was that about. And the funny thing is, when I was doing music school, I found this flyer. I went to audition and I was cast as part of the choir for the pit choir, I think in backstage, and that show was Jesus Christ Superstar. So the same show that I used to watch when I was a kid. Well, I didn't watch it. I used to see that was on TV, but I always like changed the channel because I couldn't understand why they were singing and all that. That was the show that actually made me fall in love later when I was doing music school. Fell in love with musical theater, and I just hated the movie. But later, when I was at music school, I actually auditioned for a show, and was that show Jesus Christ Superstar, and that was the show that made me fall in love with musical theater. The same show that I used to hate when I was a teenager, and because I was cast in this show, the director was this guy that he he came to the United States to study. He was a composer, and I become very close to him. So I was like kind of his assistant, and like I was like helping him to produce the shows. And I was in his office the whole time, like reading books about musical theater, and reading books about history of music and theater and all that. And I decided to change my major from singing to composition. And then I have to start over actually my whole college. And when I finished my college, I was looking for a so I graduated from college, and I was looking online for a graduate program for master programs in directing, because I at the same time that I was doing college, I was writing my own musicals and directing my own musicals, and I couldn't find anything that was a master program in directing musicals, and the closest thing that I could find was a master program in musical theater writing at NYU. Uh, at that time, I didn't speak any English. I was able to understand like reading. I could read because I was reading all these books, but I had never speak English before. So I applied for the program at NYU, and I was accepted with a full tuition scholarship, and that was the thing that made me move to the United States. Because education is very expensive here. I didn't have the money to pay for something like that, so I couldn't waste this opportunity to do this program with a full tuition scholarship. Even I didn't speak English. My family, I mean, we didn't have the funds and all that, so I have to like look for other like scholarships so I can pay for my living expenses. My family, they make their best to try to help me. I came from a very like a modest family. We don't have like well, like money. Um, but thanks to that scholarship, I came to the United States, and I started learning English as I was doing the master program. It was terrible. Every day I remember that I have this terrible headache because I couldn't understand what they were saying. I was catching just like a 10-20% maybe. So I was like learning English now at the same time that I was doing the master program, and that was the reason why I moved to the United States.
I mean, that's incredible because it's another example of, I guess, having to catch up to follow this dream and pursue what you felt was your path, and you put in the work despite all those obstacles. And so, how did that end up leading to, I guess, the creation of La Familia and the community that you've started to create now?
Yeah, it's my whole life. I have felt that I'm like a little bit. I would say that everything happened at the right time. Everything happened for a reason. But yeah, it looks like I have been behind, a little bit behind all the time. But also, I believe that my life has been made of choices. One choice after another one has led me to the next thing. When I was a kid, I never, I mean, like Broadway or the word musical theater, it wasn't in my vocabulary. I didn't know what was Broadway. I didn't know. I mean, New York City was something that I used to see just in the news, but it wasn't something that I could feel like close, or even I never dream about moving to New York or doing Broadway or doing musical theater. But one choice led to the other one, and that led me to be in this city. And when I arrived to study at NYU, I realized that what makes me different, that in this case was that I wasn't able to speak English, so I was writing a lot of the songs for the program in Spanish with my collaborators. We used to they would write English lyrics, and then I would write a section of English in Spanish, and I was starting like to use the music from my hometown, the music from my country, Latin music to tell my stories. And at the same time, when I was telling you about this scholarship, I learned that I was the first Mexican accepted into this master program, the first Mexican graduated and with a full tuition scholarship. So that was kind of like shocking for me, uh, because I couldn't believe that there weren't more people like myself with my background. I was maybe like the fourth or fifth Latino in that program, like graduated from that program. So I knew that I needed to do something about it. I knew that also when you are far away from home, obviously I was missing my family, I was missing my brother, my friends. So I have this necessity of connecting with people like me, of connecting with people that speak my same language, not only the speaking language, but also my culture, musically, the stories. So I started like founding all these amazing writers, performers, actors, singers, musicians that we share this thing in common, that is being immigrants or being from a Latin country or from a Hispanic country. And I decided that I wanted to tell the stories of people like myself. And most of my work, it's about stories that have some relation with my background, you know. And I usually use the music that I grew up with. And I start putting all these people together, and we start doing concerts around New York. And we realized that was something that it was very fulfilled for all of us, because for example they were these performers that they have been singing maybe at Broadway shows, but they never had a chance to sing like Latin music or songs in Spanglish or things like that. So they were hungry for something like that, because they had been assimilated by for an industry, and they were doing like American musical theater, and they have never had the chance to actually tell their own stories or the story of their parents or their grandparents. So we start connecting in that way, and a lot of the audience start like relating with those stories, not only from like people from Latin culture, but also people from Germany and China, and like all these people approach me at the end of the concert and tell me, "Oh, I'm from this, I'm from that. My parents are immigrants from this country, and I feel really connected with this song." So we realized that that was something that became our mission to tell these stories, so people can find a place for them. Like I think that this kind of representation is important. And for example, when I was growing up, I mean, Broadway wasn't in my radar at all. But I know that for many people that they kind of wanna be Broadway, they have never seen someone like themselves. I mean, there's not many like Mexican musical theater composers. There are not that many like Mexican or Latine Broadway actors. I mean, eh, like we are building that as we go. We have great examples and great inspiration in some people that have been before of us, but there haven't been too many. So we are trying with this movement of La Familia to find to create our own table, as they say. Like if there's no place for us on the table, we just create our own table and we have our own parties, and that's what we have been doing with this concept.
Yeah, I think that's really beautiful because you had mentioned feeling like everything happens for a reason and just making choice after choice. And it seems like the struggle of feeling like you were behind ended up being your superpower because then you found a space that needed someone to take up that space and create room for more people that were going through something similar and who wanted that community and space to live in and create in. And I've seen it firsthand in with La Familia and how warm it is, how beautiful it is, how everyone feels like home, and it does feel like a family being around that community. And so I'm wondering, for you, what inspires you to keep going when things get tough and difficult, and when maybe you meet those walls within your path of trying to create these things.
I would say that my main inspiration is actually La Familia. It's actually the, the people around me. My son, my wife, who is also a performer and a writer, my friends, uh, my collaborators, even people like you that came to the concert and then approach us at the end, and then we're having these conversations. It's I get the inspiration from all my community, I could say, because I think I strongly believe in that word, in community, and in that we are together. Together we are stronger. They say if you're gonna get far, go alone. But if you're gonna get no, if you're gonna get fast, go alone. But if you're gonna get far, go together. So I have realized that that's why many of my songs are about stories that I have heard from the people around me, from interviews, from other great performers that they have been like fighting for a representation and to be part of the Broadway industry, to tell their stories. A lot of people before us, sometimes they have been changing their last names because they felt that they didn't fit, or there's a generation of Latinos that they don't speak Spanish, and all those stories are okay. We all have different journeys. But I have learned when I was in Mexico, I didn't know about all that. I didn't know about this great like Latine community in the United States, about Mexican Americans, about people with Mexican roots, no speaking the language and hunger for learn about the culture, or all these immigrants working hard to make a better life for their sons and daughters. All that is inspiration for me. I found inspiration in all those stories, because it's people that has been working hard to find a better life, and I'm trying to do the same. and I in every in all my work I'm trying to honor all that people who has been before us, and try to honor them with my art. And I think the art needs to be a reflection of life, and that's why I tell the stories. I tell the stories that I feel close to and I feel connected to.
Yeah, and I think you're very much succeeding in that. I think not only are you honoring those who came before, you're creating a space for those to come. And it seems like you're in this cycle now where you're inspired and feeling the magic of the people around you, but then you're creating it for others as well. And having that cycle kind of go on is a really special thing because I feel like it never ends, and it's an endless wealth of magic there and inspiration. And and speaking of kind of involvement and representation, Real Women Have Curves. It's a beautiful Broadway show. I got to see it with my wife, and your wife Florencia was in it. So tell me about a little bit of your involvement in the production of that show.
Oh, I didn't do too much in that show, but I was what I did. I helped a little bit with the dance arrangements with some in musical theater there it's what I love about musical theater as an industry is there's a lot of collaboration. I mean, you have to learn. It's something that in our countries back in Latin America we don't have an industry like this one. There's not a lot of musical theater, and sometimes we are very we want to do everything by ourselves. We just sometimes we say, oh, if we want this to have a good end, I need to do it by myself because no one else is going to be able to do it like me. And that's not true. I have learned during all these years the power that collaboration brings to the room and to art. In musical theater, I mean, just to write a musical, you have the composer, you have the lyricist, you have the book writer. Sometimes you have more people, and then you have the director, you have a choreographer, you have all these designers, and then you have associate for every of the designers. You have the actor, you have a casting director, stage managers, you have stage hands. I mean, it's like a lot of people. And in the music department, you have the composer, and then you have arrangers, you have orchestrators, you have arrangers, you have dance arrangers. That's what I did a little bit in Real Women Have Curves. There's moments in a musical when maybe they need the help of someone who specializes in a specific style or more in just music more than sometimes a composer just write a song, so they need someone to focus more in the instrumental section or things like that. So what I help is being in the room with the director and choreographer and shape some of the dances with my music. I mean, it wasn't my music. I was using the music that was already written by the composer, and just doing arrangement around that to connect some moments in the songs and things like that. So that's what I did for Real Women Have Curves.
That's amazing because it was such a beautiful show from top to bottom, and hearing your
Yeah,
journey from being at a point where you didn't really have as much of an interest in musical theater to now that you are able to kind of jump into different aspects of it and learn the makings of it and take hold of it. And I know you're also behind a show called Roja that's coming. And what can you tell me about Roja?
okay, I'm very excited about that show because it's a Latin slash Mexican adaptation of Red Little Riding Hood. That's how you say it, right? Red
Yeah,
Riding Hood. No,
Little Red
no.
Riding Hood.
Little Red Riding
Little Red
Hood.
Riding Hood.
See, I always say it wrong. It's a very complex and long name for me. Little Red Riding Hood. But we're using a lot of Mexican elements, and we're creating like a whole new story inspired by this tale, and we have been very blessed because this project has been like selected for different grants and different, in musical theater here in the United States. They have like a you apply for grants, you apply for residencies, you apply for workshops, you apply for different things, and that's the way that you start like a building up, like trying to rewrite a show, getting a production, working on a demo, being able that the show you put the show doing a reading so investors or producers can see the show. And we're going to be part of this festival that is the most important musical theater festival in the United States called NAMT, that happen every year. It's a closed festival only for industry people, and they put together like a Broadway cast so we can do a reading and have a presentation for producers, investors, artistic directors, theaters around the country that they come to New York and see the show that are selected to be part of this like conference that happens once a year. And we're very excited about the show. It's a show we have been working now for around maybe 3 years, and usually after having this kind of being part of a conference like this one, you find like new opportunities. That you find maybe a producer or you find a theater that is interested in producing somewhere, and we're very excited to see what this is gonna bring for this show.
Well, I'm crossing my fingers because, yeah, that would be great to see this kind of come to fruition and become the vision that you've been thinking about. I know it's been worked on for a while, and uh, I'm assuming also there's a lot of involvement with the people that you've become friends and family with over the years and connected with that you're able to work with.
Yeah, as you say, we create this familia, and yes, I want to do like all my projects. If I do good, my people is gonna do good, and that go in all directions. If some of my friends is having a good project, and I mean I'm gonna have maybe a good opportunity there. So I believe in that. I strongly believe in that. Supporting each other, and most of my shows we have been like working with the same group of people. We know each other, we trust each other. We have been spending time, like we go to retreats maybe in the middle of the woods to write a show, and then my friend singers come, and they sing the songs there, and then we learn if the songs are working or not, and we rewrite, or when we're doing the demos of the songs, we get together to record that, and it's the same group of people, and there's a lot of beauty on that it's just like doing it as a familia. It's really that, and at the same time, that is not only working and writing, but only having the chance to get to know each other better, to actually create a familia beyond work, to be able to have fun together, to be able to support each other also in a personal level. I think that is something that also you can see in the work ultimately.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. I mean, I even as someone who is just taking in the art that you guys are creating, um, I see it and I feel it in the concerts, and I even see it on Songs from an Immigrant. I mean, Volume One and Two are already out, and Volume Three is coming, and I see that there are familiar names that have been on the first two volumes, and there are some new names coming in, and it does feel like a kind of a moving circle of different people within this community, and I think that's such a beautiful thing. What can you tell me about the creation of those albums and what that experience has been like?
Yeah, the familia is growing up. It's growing up, and it's growing also like in members. Uh, we create this project as a necessity because they invite me we created this project back in before the pandemic. Maybe it was 2017, maybe 18. Yeah, 2018, I think so. They invited me to do a concert in a theater in New Jersey that has like a big, like a large Mexican community, Two Rivers in New Jersey, and I decided to write a couple of songs that I wanted to talk about the immigrant experience. And when we had that concert, we realized that the people wanted to hear those stories, and that's why we started doing more and more concerts. And after the concert, they always ask, "Oh, where can I listen to this song? I would love to listen to this or to that." So we decided to start like doing the albums, like just by myself. At the beginning, those were like self-produced, just myself, asking my friends to record the music, uh, asking my performer friends to record one of the vocals for one song. Um, we were recording actually here in my house, in my room. I mean, we were doing everything like a very self-produced. And then the last two albums has been we have had the support of Concord Theatrical Recording, that is a very important musical theater label and organization. They won the Grammy for a few Broadway cast recordings, and we believe in the importance of our stories being told and heard. It's not only about, I mean, when you are in a concert, that's a way to connect, but even no one do albums anymore. I mean, albums are not a business like they used to be like years ago, right? People doesn't buy it and everything now online, but it's a great way to connect with more community, with more familia, and find a way to impact more people. And we're doing this album because we want our stories to be heard for as many people as possible, and having the support of now Concord, that's helping us to spread the word, to helping us to produce the album. So that has been helping a lot. That's something that started just as a family, just my wife, me, and a few friends, is like growing and growing, and now having the allies. I think that's very important. Also to say that because we have been talking about representation and Latin community and Hispanic community and this and that, but that doesn't mean that it it's a fight against others communities or against a system or whatever. It's more a way to find our place in history, and be together with other communities. It's not about. I think that is very important to respect and work with other communities and with other people. And sometimes I'm an ally for other communities, and I have great allies in other people for my community. And I think that is very important. And this project has helped to find all those connections through songs and through music.
Yeah, and I think that's very evident, even at being at your concerts, that there's so many different people from different backgrounds who are there, and they're having the best time. They're dancing, they're clapping, they're singing. A lot of them know your lyrics, and it's such a beautiful thing to witness. And I like what you said about how La Familia is not only growing in number and wider, but it's growing up. You have all this now extra support, and I've also noticed that your concerts now, this big one coming up, it feels like a much bigger venue and a space that feels really special for the release of Songs from an Immigrant Volume 3.
Yeah, we are very excited about this one, and also, to be honest, a little bit scared because, as you say, it's usually we were doing like musical theater venues, like cabaret, cabaret style venues, like Joe's Pop, 54 Below, all those. And then we start doing a lot of performing arts centers, like things that are more like non-profit, like Lincoln Center and things like that. and I think this is the first time that we're playing a room that has more a commercial, it's more a commercial room. The Sony Hall is a beautiful, iconic room in the middle of Broadway. Right there in the theater district. A lot of great artists from all around the world come to play at that beautiful venue. It's it's a larger venue. It's around like 500 people that I think that can fit in there. Uh, Before we have been doing rooms from 20, 30 people to maybe 200. I think might be the maybe 300 the bigger one, the larger one. Uh, so we are excited and as I said before, scared about this new challenge. But very happy and I'm very proud to be celebrating the release of now that third volume of this project. I mean, I've never believed that we have been that we did just one album and then it became something more and more and more because there are a lot of stories to tell. There are a lot of stories that need to be heard. There are a lot of there's new singers, new collaborations in new album, um, people from Broadway and people from all different musical genres. All music style. We have like this huge salsa timbal player from Peru, who is a Latin and a Latin Grammy and Grammy winner, who is a phenomenal timbal player named Tony Zucar. And we have a music producer from Honduras, who has produced a lot of music for Residente de la banda Calle 13 from Puerto Rico, who is also very important in the pop world, in the urban music world. And we have people like Cristina Alabado, who was on Broadway in Mean Girls, the musical. And we have this amazing Mexican regional singer named Javier Zazueta, who was part of the Voice reality show, the Mexican version, And so you can see it's like people from all different backgrounds and music styles and all that. Because I believe like in the same way with like shouldn't be borders with people and countries, also with music. I think they shouldn't be borders. It's all music is music. My songs, some of them I like a more like a musical theater style, but also we have like a salsa or some mariachi Mexican music. So it's all kind of music because I think that we need to take advantage of all these different styles that make who we are and use them to tell these stories.
Yeah, agreed. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about the two albums so far and the concerts you put on, that I feel like there's all these different types of stories of people from different places and their experiences. And I feel like it touches everyone in the audience in a different way, depending on what their own story is. And it's always very relatable. And it's funny you mentioned the excitement mixed with the fear, because there's a good friend of mine who told me that that fear never fully goes away, but it's because you're excited. And it's about remembering that you're meant to be there, you deserve to be there. And I think nothing is more true than your experience and what you've created and the spaces that you keep filling up with the community that you've created. So it's a very beautiful thing.
Oh, thank you for your kind words. Um, yeah, I'm really proud of our familia, of all of us together, of we, the two of us having this conversation. It's like all. I think that we are all part of this community. It's not only about the people on stage. It's not only about the performers. It's not only about the albums. I think it's very important. I mean, we want the people to listen to the song. We want the people to come to the concert. We want the people from the press to learn who we are, to have interviews, to do podcasts, because it's the way that we can connect each other. It's not only something about promoting who we are, but more a way to connect as human beings.
Yeah, agreed. And then I think that's kind of the beautiful relationship that you've made between people and the audience, where there's this experience of going there and feeling inspired and feeling like your cup is full and leaving happier and more full and feeling like you're home. And I think that's the experience I've had, I know, at your concerts, and I think it's something that a lot of people feel when they come.
Thank you. Yeah, we really try. When we are far away from our home, we try to create a new home, huh? And we have been doing that for a few years now. We have found this family, we have found new brothers, new sisters. My son, I have a 8-year-old son who is growing up with all these people around, and and I think that is the best. Like, if I can name it, like the best legacy, or the way that I feel, the reason I feel prouder is because I know my son, who is my most beloved, treasure, is surrounded by good people. I surrounded by all these amazing human beings, and he's learning from all of them, and that make give me peace. That make me feel like I'm doing something good beyond that for my community, for my community or whatever. I'm doing something good for my son, for my family. We are learning and working, and having fun and helping each other in community, and that is beautiful, that we can call this home.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I think the way you described that perfectly kind of encapsulates my feeling of that magic that we all pursue and we're always after, and looking for inspiration and feeling that beauty and art in the world. And it's something that's a cycle. I mean, you feel it, you create it with others, and it's beautiful that you're actively pursuing it and also experiencing and creating it for your family and for the community that you've created. And this big concert is August 25th, 8 p.m. Sony Music Hall. I'm going to add the link when I post this so people can buy tickets. And before we go, I want to end with a fun question. If there were to be a movie on your life, which actor would you like to play you?
Oh wow, that's a hard question. A movie of my life, who would play me? I don't know, because I guess that when they do a movie, I be older, so they would be new actors by then. But who could play me? Definitely, I could like someone, because I have been. I mean, because this is my what I have been like thinking about for many years. It would need to be something from my country and from my culture. Definitely, it's to be. I don't know who, but I strongly believe that, because I have been like really fighting for this. I don't want this huge Hollywood actor or whatever. I I would need to be like congruent and loyal to what I think, and I need that I would need to find someone who really is from, not from where I am exactly, but who has all this background, like myself, like being a Latin actor. Definitely, he needs to be handsome and funny. That's for sure. But
Definitely.
I don't know what name to say right now. But I'm sure that there's gonna be a new actor coming up soon that who will play me perfectly.
Oh, completely. I could see it. Well, Jaime, I want to thank you so much. It has been an honor to interview you. You are a big inspiration. Very excited for your concert. Just a reminder, it's August 25th, 8 p.m., Sony Music Hall. And thank you again for your time. It has been a blessing to interview you.
Thank you, my pleasure. Thank you for being so kind to me. And yeah, we'll see you all at Sony Hall August 25th. I will see you there, Matthew.
Yes, I can't wait. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Gracias.